welcome to the Mount Rushmore podcast. I'm Jeff, and I'm joined as always by my good buddies Richard.
Hello.
And Michael.
Howdy.
Richard and Michael like to debate and deliberate the most ubiquitous aspects of a variety of topics, and this time you may have guessed from the thing here.
Other way, I think maybe. There we go.
This is the Mount Rushmore of single-use kitchen gadgets.
This is like when Thomas Edison was the inventor of film, and he was just doing all the same stuff, and it was 100+ years ago.
Yeah, there's a sneeze and a train leaving the station, and a person experimenting with a garden hose later on.
And then someone electrocutes an elephant. That'll be Jeff.
For all of our audio-only listeners, and for that one YouTube watcher. Jeff is pointing to things on screen. And so there's going to be a video element to this. So if you listen to it on the podcast, double dip.
Yeah, I hope I can get this figured out. All right. So, Richard, you chose it. Why?
I don't know, Jeff. It was just a crazy, wacky thing I was thinking about. No, I as you guys know, our kitchen, we did major renovations and we had to box everything up and put it in the garage. So we're in the process still of unboxing everything. And right now we're missing some of our single-use kitchen gadgets, which is very frustrating. And there's stuff that we're probably going to have to go out and buy because we just can't find it. Not if a box went missing or what. Oh. And it's just one of those things I started thinking about. Sometimes there are just these things that you take for granted that you use all the time, and you think, well, if I didn't have that, I could get by. And then you don't have it, and then you realize I'm so screwed without this little gadget. So that's why
your fries are going unjulienned.
Yes, exactly. So somebody's gonna have to julienne these fries, and it's not me.
All right. Well, okay. Fun topic. Michael, you start.
My first choice is whatever this thing is. I'm holding it up to the screen, but it is there it is. It is a egg yolk extractor.
Oh, I was going to say a mushroom cleaner. It looked like a little bit like a mushroom, but
well, this particular one is like this little rubber doohickey, and all you do is you slurp the egg yolk out of a cracked egg. And the number of times I've used this are right around 0. Because you can do the trick with an egg where you go back and forth with a little egg and the eggshell, but that in itself is too much work, obviously. I love this thing because it has no other use, and I don't use it. So it's not only a single-use kitchen gadget; it is a never-use kitchen gadget that just sits in the drawer and takes up space and doesn't allow me to close the drawer sometime. So I think that happens too, as we have a, kind of a kitchen tool. We have 2 kitchen tool drawers. We have the one that has the useful stuff. It's got a rolling pin in it. It has a potato masher. It has, a big meat, a mallet for pounding chicken and stuff. And then there's the other drawer, which is just boy, that's just an adventure into
the island of misfit toys over there.
It really is. It's like a science fiction show. You're sitting in there what is all this stuff in here? It's this big rubber doohickey guy that kind of looks like a monster, but there you go. An egg yolk extractor, I guess, is my first entry.
Where did it come from? Who bought it, and how did it come to you? How did it come into your possession?
I believe this is my wife's choice, my wife's purchase. And I'm sure she's used it at some point, but me, not so much.
Are you Marie Kondoing Michael right now, Richard?
Yes.
Does it bring you joy?
It doesn't bring you joy, exactly. And it doesn't seem like it does.
I see. That's the thing is I'm also in the my point of view is Emily can be in the other room and she can say, "Do we need?" And my answer is no. So whatever she's holding up, throw it away. It could be a very sentimental picture my child has drawn, or it could be a plastic doodad in a drawer. And I'm we could just get rid of it. It's fine. I don't know what it is because I know that she knows the things that we use. So
It's good to well, it's bringing up an interesting the measurement for these devices. Are they utilitarian? Are they useful? Are they clutter because you don't use them?
Yeah.
And this one sounds like it's just clutter. When you pulled that up, I thought that was the bulb that would go on a baster
It kind of looks like that,
device.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't have like the little ridges inside that you would like a screw, sort of like a fixing
Yeah.
deal.
All of these, I wonder if we could.
We also have another egg separator, but that's also in the drawer. It's a little thing that like clips onto a bowl, and you can just like crack an egg through it, and it strains the egg bites down below. So we've got two things that are never used.
I would love if you had like on the old Letterman show, the humidifier and dehumidifier showdown, but with separators and reuniters of eggs. Richard, what's your first one?
All right. Before I get to my first one, I just thought I should point out one thing. No, it's not a big deal. It's just that a lot of these items, they're going to seem ridiculous when we're talking about them. Yeah. But also a lot of these items were made for people with mobility or other disability issues. So I just wanted to acknowledge that before we start, that sometimes something that seems easy for us may be more difficult for somebody else. And maybe separating an egg yolk is something that's someone may have difficulty with. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Excellent consideration.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be not be so ableist. Not a New Year's resolution, could be.
Richard's going to come in with two-handed something or other right now.
Yes, it's actually, yeah, exactly. Well, no, what I'm going to come with, and some of my choices are ones that I have. Some of them are ones that I want. This is a one that I have and we can't find, and it's pissing me off. It's our garlic press. Because we use a lot of garlic. We're a pro garlic family. And mincing garlic, when you have to do it by just chopping with a big knife, that's really time consuming. Like, you don't realize how hard it is to just mince a couple of cloves of garlic. And usually we have pre-minced garlic around, but sometimes it's gone bad or sometimes it's not there. And then you have to do it on your own. And that garlic press, so it's like one of those single-use gadgets where there is a clear problem, and this thing is the clear solution. Now, the only downside of it is it is a pain in the butt to clean. If you've ever used these things, basically it just, it's like a grip thing, and it's got like when you squeeze it, there's like almost like a face on it that's got a bunch of ridges, and it presses into a flat surface, and that's how you mince your garlic. And it just leaves behind mush on the garlic press. And if you don't have a good dishwasher, which we didn't have until recently, man, this is minutes of trying to scrub to get all the little bits of garlic off, which is kind of weird because you're only going to use it for garlic. So it shouldn't be like, hey, this garlic press smells like garlic. What's going on? But
well, Richard, do I have the tool for you, sir?
Oh my goodness!
I feel like Ron, what's his name?
Ron Popeil over here.
Ron Popeil. I have my second choice is this garlic shredder device.
Oh.
Now, what you do is you open up these. It kind of looks like a little it's almost like a Star Wars vehicle. It's like a round thing that has blades inside that has like a little wheel. And so what you do is you put your garlic bulbs in there, and then you just drive it back and forth. And these little blades go to town. It doesn't become like the garlic doesn't become mushy. It just gets all nicely shredded and diced. I mean, I know that some recipes call for garlic to be pressed, so it's kind of a little bit juicier. But this thing, I love this thing. It is a thing that I probably use of all the little kitchen tools. I use this thing the most because you just throw a bunch of garlic in here, 2 or 3 bulbs in there, and you just like run it back and forth on the cutting board. And man, you're in garlic heaven. When's your birthday, Richard? It just happened. I'll get you one.
I just had one. I'll
get you one.
All right. I'm excited about this. One of the things that with single-use kitchen gadgets that I think more so than just, knives or pans or anything like that, is that they can be fun to use. There's
Yes.
there's potentially a real fun factor that goes beyond just the utility of what it does. Whether it's novelty, whether it's the act of doing what you're doing with it is fun, whether it's shaped in a certain way that makes it look like like you said, a Fred Flintstone car or like a Jetsons car, which is what that looks like.
Yeah.
It's just that's something that's a consideration when you think about the best of the single-use gadgets or the most single-use gadget. Whatever we're using our criteria is for this.
Okay, I thought that was a segue into you were about to show us a fun thing.
No, I don't have any.
Okay.
Remember, we've lost all our single-use gadgets. They're all.
Oh, that's right. So let me ask you, what would Gordon Ramsay think of all these things? Like maybe we should have an ometer, like a Ramsometer.
That's good.
Yes, it should be like an odometer, and it's shaped like a knife. Because how many of these things can just be solved by having a knife?
A knife. Yeah.
And at least 3 out of the 4 things sitting in front of me, 100%. If I just had a knife, I could do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And the scale goes from 0 to you complete an utter twat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meaning, how much of a twat are you for having to use this thing instead of just using the knife?
Yeah. Okay. Well, like you said, though, Richard, they wouldn't be fun if it was just a knife, right? It's more fun that it's something else. Well, what's your next not fun item, Richard?
My next item, and I just dropped it into the chat, so if you guys want to open it and take a look, I didn't know if you're familiar with it. It's the 3-in-1 avocado slicer.
Whoa.
Oh.
And this thing, it looks like almost like a plastic switchblade with with a plastic circle at the end of it with some slats. And I love this idea behind this, and I want one. And I don't even eat avocados that often. But I think I would eat more avocados if we had something like this. I would figure out how to make some good guacamole if I had a 3-in-1 avocado slicer. So what it does is it has the knife portion, which is for peeling the avocado and getting the skin off. Then it's got a hole in the middle, which is for getting the pit out easily. And then it's got the, like I said, the plastic circle with the slats, which is for getting it into neat avocado slices. And I just love the utility of this thing. The fact that somebody sat down and said, what is everything you need to do with an avocado?
Yeah.
And made a tool that does all of those things. And I know maybe I'm pushing the boundaries of single-use gadget because it does have multiple uses inherent in it, but it's only really usable with an avocado. I mean, you're not going to put a banana through this thing or anything like that. So I'm drawn to this. I'm drawn to the idea that there are certain gadgets that I think I inherently want, even though I know deep down inside I'm never going to use it. And that's how we wind up with 2 different egg separators, things like that. But yeah,
I would use that sucker. Every day. That thing is amazing.
It looks like a feat of engineering, an engineering marvel. That's what it looks like.
I do think novelty is one selling point for these devices. Like cooking is an invention of its own, and the idea that somebody could get some excitement out of having a fun little device that could help progress them towards their goal of doing it. I would get that one. One thing I've discovered about avocado is it is so sticky. Like you trying to get it off of it doesn't seem like it would be.
Right.
But if you use a spoon to kind of scoop out an avocado, that residue is going to stay on there through any dishwashing cycle. It is going to stay. So all of these also, I guess we're at our halftime, and all of these do seem like they would be murder weapons for the next Glass Onion, Knives Out movie or something in their novelty.
Instead of Glass Onion, it's Glass Avocado.
Glass avocado. Let me ask you guys: Do you like to cook or to do things in the kitchen?
Yeah, I do. Sarah does the majority of the cooking just because she hates doing the dishes more than I have an issue with cooking.
Oh.
So it's just I've decided to take on the thing that she really hates, so she doesn't have to do it. But yeah, there are times when I cook if she's going to be out late or something like that, and I enjoy it. I am someone who has to have everything laid out before I even start. So
Yeah, it's a
all of
good
the
process.
flour is out, any of the salt, any of the oils or anything. So I'm not scrambling around while I'm trying to cook, like going back to the fridge and trying to find, the butter or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very meticulous about it, which is not me on most things. But for
Mm.
whatever reason with cooking, I'm a very meticulous kind of cook, so I have to do it
Mhm.
very specifically. I'm
Like
not
so
somebody who's
many,
gonna I'm not somebody who's gonna freelance a recipe. Put it that way.
yeah, like so many, I have the benefit of kind of working from home these days, so I tend to be the primary, like especially dinner preparer. But since I have so much time throughout the day, usually, or I have moments where I'll like take my time to be able to do something. So if there's a part of the day where I have 10 minutes, I can chop onions and chop bell peppers and put them back in the fridge. So it's like I'm doing like sous chef stuff throughout the day, and then I can cook near the end of the day before Emily comes home or whatever, or get everything ready so that she can cook if she's cooking. Like little things like that. There's definitely, um, these tools are great. I mean, I enjoy cooking if there's a recipe to follow, but I'm like you, Richard, where like I'm not looking in the fridge and being like, well, I bet I can make something out of that. That's like no way in hell.
Okay, so why don't we just plow through? Michael, what is your third?
My third choice goes along with the garlic shredder little roller device, and this is a rubber garlic bulb sheath getter offer. I don't know the name of it. You get your little garlic, not bulbs, but like the
In?
little, what are they? The little knob things. Look at us, like a garlic clove. Thank you.
Clove.
And you put like one of the garlic cloves in here, and then you just kind of lightly roll it uh, on the desk, and it removes all the little papery, like awful garlic stuff that is so annoying to get off.
Oh.
Right? Instead of
Wow.
taking the simple thing, like the flat slide aside of a knife and just kind of giving it a smack, and it kind of comes off that way. No. I use this thing as much as whenever I use garlic, I justify the use of this other little rubber like just tube that just kind of rolls and like it just kind of breaks the surface of it just enough, but it doesn't like it doesn't destroy like the integrity of the garlic, and it just kind of gets kind of breaks it enough so that like the little papery awful wrapping around garlic bulb comes off. I love it.
That has got to be one of those things that's the factory where they make those, the assembly line workers. You ask them, what is that? And they go, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what this thing is. How often do you use that one?
Oh, as often as I dice up some garlic.
Is the car the car backs up to the thing? Beep, beep, beep.
It has like these weird like serrated edge on the side. I don't know what that's for. Oh. But the only problem with this one, it's like Richard's other garlic press. This is a son of a bitch to clean. For the paper just sticks to it on the inside, and it just takes forever to dry. But I can't believe I have two garlic things on here. But there you go.
Yeah, you better not have another garlic thing.
I don't. But it has no other use. Maybe you could do it with a shallot. I don't know. I'm not trying it for a shallot. Screw that.
That probably voids the warranty if you use the shallot.
I do wonder if what anything related to garlic is single use due to its ability to retain, or the potency of garlic perhaps makes it hard to just grab a tangerine and start doing the same thing with it. Richard, your third one.
Third one. I'm going to drop another link in the chat here. Boom. Corn on the cob holders.
Oh.
One of my favorite. Oh boy.
It almost made my list. I have it here as like I was debating between the two, but great choice, Richard.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, and I was talking to my wife about this before we did the show, and it's one of those things where you don't think you need it. It seems very silly and superfluous until you actually are eating corn on the cob and you're getting the
Mhm.
butter on your hands and it's hot, and you just think to yourself, man, I wish I had some corn on the cob holders. And the great thing about the corn on the cob holders is that, again, the novelty aspect, the fun aspect of it. I dropped that link in the chat of just a list. It's just this list of all these different novelty corn on the cob holders you can get. You know, they can be like a dachshund with like the butt end on one and the head on the other, or unicorns, or Mickey Mouse hands, or any number of things. So it makes the process of eating be more fun, and that's what food is supposed to be. I'm a big believer that food is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to
Do you
enjoy
f-
eating. You're supposed to enjoy cooking.
do you feel like Uncle Moneybags when you like are like these
Well, I
the
do eat them with my
spokes?
pinkies up. Yes,
We're eating like millionaires tonight.
enjoy your corn on the cob.
In my mouth, I will never touch it with my fingers.
Jeeves,
I
apply the
just
corn on the cob holders for me.
Yeah, you have two
sliding it.
separate butlers, one on each side, to hold it and to turn it at the exact
Take-
same corn revolutions per minute.
Exactly.
A little too quickly, so
Wonderful.
my teeth can't handle the kernels.
Oh wow.
Which also
I
goes
really should
into.
know.
I was going to say it also kind of feeds into one that I saw and I thought about, and it just seemed a little too. I don't know what's going on. It's it almost looks like a peeler, except it's to remove the corn nuggets from the kernels
Oh,
from the
yeah.
cob.
Oh,
And it's just basically it's just you go whoop, and it just
yeah.
like shaves it all off.
Mhm.
And I just thought to myself, you know what? Just eat the damn corn on the cob.
Hmm.
Unless you've got like teeth issues. Again, not to be ableist. If you've got teeth issues, jaw issues, some reason why you can't bite into the corn on the cob. But corn is maybe it's just my bias. Corn is like 100 times better on the cob than when you're just eating the kernels by themselves.
Mhm.
That's just my opinion.
I think
another.
there's no arguing there, Richard. I mean, you get
Somebody's
a little bit.
listening to Richard going, "Eat it off the stalk. Eat it in the field.
You guys cook your corn?
You got it
Oh.
easy." Winfield, what's your fourth?
My
Your fourth.
my last choice is a breadcrumb tabletop
Oh yeah.
scraper device that we were gifted one night when we went into like this nice little fancy French restaurant, and we were having like some, a bread in a basket, some delicious French bread. And after about 3 minutes of like, that kind of in between time before like the little nice basket of bread has come out, before like an appetizers come out, between like a basket of bread and your main dish, and this waiter came by, and with like the flick of a wrist, it was like an old timey straight razor guy. It was like
Yeah.
what's his name? Sweeney Todd came by, and he came
Yeah.
by with this thing, and he just like scooped it around the table and got every single breadcrumb and like little bit of bread and whatever off that
Mhm.
table, and it was just like the fastest, most amazing
Wow.
motion. And we had to stop, and we were like, how did you do that? And he brought out this little thing. He showed this little tool, and it has this, it's now been like just fallen down the drain, and so it's been chewed up by the garbage disposal. But he just had the quickest flick of the wrist motion to like get it all off the table, and we were like, that's the most amazing thing we've ever seen. And then as we were walking out of the restaurant, or right before, he came by and gave us one, and it was just like, this is amazing.
Wow.
So
Oh wow! Hope you tipped him well.
it's not something that we use very often. It kind of just sits in the drawer it has like a little clip on here, so you can keep it in your pocket. But we just don't have like the actual utility for it. We don't have like a tablecloth really on our table to catch all so it's just one of those things. But like I saw it and I was like, oh, I love this thing. I would love the ability to use it and to be able to to use it in a fancy setting someday.
Now, when you do, you have used it before, right?
Oh
It
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
be
You
just
don't bring something like this home and then like just never use it. It's just kind of like
Were
it's
you
rare.
able to swoop the crumbs up with the same elan as the waiter, or is it something where he had
Of course
to?
not. Of course not. There's a skill that all of these people learn. Like everything that everybody does in a restaurant, whether you're like, I mean, a busboy or a waiter or you're serving drinks, these are all like honed skills
Yeah.
that, like, sure, I bet the first day there's crumbs all
Yeah.
over the place. Day 7, you're wicking it all up somehow and making it look like magic.
Could you
Day
run that
one-
over? Could you run that over your kid just to get all the crumbs off of him after a meal?
Good idea. Yeah.
I just look at day one. He's going off your table into the face of a nearby diner or something, into the $300 glass of wine he's about to sit back. I love those things that I become so amazingly impressed by that I feel like what I am, this rube from Kansas, this AC, and that waiter's just kind of like nodding. Like I also imagine with the baguette to person ratio of a country like France, like kids are taught to wield those from just infancy in France, right? Like they just have them everywhere.
Yes, they're given a sippy cup of wine,
Yeah,
and a breadcrumb.
The black and white striped shirt.
Point of order, though. What is the location in which this gadget was used? Dining room.
Well, I guess. Listen, that's up to
Uh-oh.
you. That's up to you.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Please apply the same standard to Richard's choice of corncob holder, please.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Good point.
If you're
Good point.
gonna come down hard, Judge, if you're gonna come down hard on me, bring the hammer down on this guy over here.
Over
here. Yeah.
Judge, be consistent at least if you can't be intelligent.
I don't mind my my choices being called out. I do mind when it's directed at me and it feels personal.
You could press garlic in the dining room too. Okay, Richard, what's your last choice?
Okay, my last choice is the apple core slicer.
Great.
Very useful if you have kids.
Oh, that's a bedroom thing in my house.
Whoa, that's a little
sorry.
personal, Jeff.
Sorry.
Um,
Core slicer.
Yeah, basically, the main one that people might know is it almost looks like a orange juice press, one of those manual ones, except it's got blades kind of all like sticking up through it, and you're supposed to push the apple down onto it. It'll take the core out. It'll cut it into slices for you, which is great if you have kids or if you are a particularly picky eater yourself, which I am not, as you guys can tell. The problem with it, and Sarah's dad had one. I was talking to her about this as we were discussing before the show. The blades get awfully dull very quickly, apparently. So what you wind up with is just mushy apples. If you're pressing down on this thing, it just mushes them all up. So this was kind of an example of a single-use kitchen gadget that really has a brief shelf life. That maybe is really good for the first few months that you buy it, but there's no way to resharpen the blades or anything like that. It's not like a kitchen knife. You can't take it to a store and have it sharpened. So you're just kind of stuck with this thing that used to work okay, but now it doesn't. So it's like, do you buy another one? How do you deal with it? And also, just go buy pre-sliced apples, man. They sell them at the store. They're in the bag right next to the regular apples.
You're gonna
just do that.
Pay that prime pre-sliced apple content. Look, this is Richard. Jeff.
Big Apple has gotten to me.
This is the guy that is just a little hoity-toity.
Yeah, he's the 1% now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting the checks. I'm getting the checks from the Apple Consortium of America.
Yeah,
those are rolling in.
Richard has never. Now that I think about it, he's never mentioned oranges. That's weird.
Jeff, can we edit out the O word?
Oranges, oranges, oranges.
Ah, my livelihood. Now, what we do have is we have like this apple core and peeler. It's like a very old timey thing where it's got like a hand crank, and you put the apple on the end, and it kind of cores it and peels it. And then if you want to continue to peel the actual apple itself, it'll do that. Which is great if you're making, it doesn't actually slice it, but it's great if you're making pies. If you want a nice apple pie, it's great for that. So those things, awesome. The general apple core / slicer, proceed at your own risk.
You recognize that URL, Richard? I just
www.apples.com.
Oh, he said it out loud. Okay.
Yeah, those are the fine apple growers of America.
Okay.
Some of America's finest patriots, from what I understand.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What about that?
And I'm not going to say that word, Jeff.
Oh, come
Can't
on.
trick me. Fool me once. Shame on you.
Okay. Well, now I'm going to have the honor of ranking these and picking 4, and I was really having a hard time kind of determining which to go for. So I'm just going to put a check mark or an X next to the ones that I think are most dangerous. I'm going to rank them in the order of their just dangerousness.
Nice.
0 apple core or slicer, because Richard, you're saying no, that's not.
Yeah, I'm saying those blades should go real quick. So yeah.
Let's go with corn on the cob holders, because you could just, I'm thinking right in your temples, like right there.
Oh yeah, in the John Wick movie, I can see him being at a 4th of July barbecue and having to use some of those on a horde of bad guys.
Well, I think Hannibal the cannibal used to use those too when he'd be eating somebody's brains or whatever. He'd put one on either side.
You still have that? Can you brandish that breadcrumber one more time, Michael? Look at that. Oh yeah, that's number 2. Breadcrumber and garlic car. It's got to be number 3, because that's got whirling blades inside it, right? But you can expose the blades. Okay. Okay.
I think I know what the number 1 most dangerous thing is.
Yeah. Press. That's a slicer. The 3-in-1 slicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has.
You can slice your own fingers many different ways. You know.
Yes.
3 ways to kill a man with that. Okay.
Perfect.
This has been the Mount Rushmore of single-use kitchen gadgets. I'm always Jeff.
I'm Richard.
I'm Michael.